Welcome back, guys. Make sure you like, subscribe, Rumble, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, X. Share, subscribe, notification bell, all the places. We are everywhere. This episode is all about contradictions and corruption, whether it's American comedians censoring themselves for Saudi Arabia, California politicians throwing away billions, which they always do, while homelessness explodes, or Gavin Newsom caring more about memes than the fentanyl crisis or anything else happening in this state that's slowly going downhill. I'm very exhausted living here every day. I feel like I'm going to die. And today we'll finish with a new segment, some brutally honest California questions of the week. I feel like you guys will like that. A lot of people that follow me are in California, and a lot of them are actually in Los Angeles. But we're going to start off with the Riyadh Comedy Festival. So let's start with the Riyadh Comedy Festival. The lineup is stacked, but here's the catch. Comedians can't actually say what they want. You have to follow Saudi restrictions. Shane Gillis explained why he refused to go. Good for him, a little integrity. While Bill Burr and Chris Rufo pointed out the hypocrisy of comics taking the paychecks anyways, even though it goes against everything they believe in. We have an image of some of the bigger comics performing at this festival. As you can see here, huge comics. Andrew Schultz, big Bad Friends podcast is super funny. Bill Burr, I would say when I started watching comedy quite a while ago, me and my dad used to always watch George Carlin together. And then Chappelle show back in the day was great. Bill Burr was my favorite comedian. He was so funny. The way he would make fun of now what would seem like woke, entitled, lazy people, the way he would talk about women, he was hilarious. Now he's gone full the other way. Chris Tucker, damn. Huge Jimmy Carr, who's also very, I would say, politically incorrect. Kevin Hart, great. Louis C.K., shocked he's on there. Tom Score, Whitney Cummings. Yeah, I mean, it's a huge comedy festival. It's kind of interesting where they're having it because they can't talk about everything. So far I've seen Tim Dillon was supposed to be booked and he was making comments about it. And I guess that they took him off for the stuff he was saying, which I can't really imagine how you can be like, willing to go somewhere where your speech is restricted. But then again, I'm pretty sure Tim Dillon said they offered him like $320,000 or something like that. And he was like, yeah, I mean, he probably just should have shut up and taken the money. I just think the irony is this goes against everything they claim to believe in. We have an image showing contracting letters that comics receive saying what they can and can't talk about. So you can't talk about Saudi Arabia, which they are, including its leadership, public figures, culture, or people. I would like to point out how funny this is because most comics now and late night hosts literally only have careers because the only content they could talk about is every single thing they just listed there, which is hilarious. Let me get this straight. You can't go there and insult anything about the place you're at. Crazy, which I think Tim Dillon was doing, which was really funny. And also he was right about all that. Can't talk about the Saudi royal family, the legal system, the government, any religion, religious figures, or religious practice. So you literally cannot talk about anything about them, their government, their religion, and everything they do there, which is so funny. So you're going and you're taking money to be a part of something where you literally can't openly talk about it, criticize it. You can't even joke about it. They're comedians, what they do for a living. So I find it interesting they're going to go all the way there and then not make fun of all the stuff they do there while being a part of it and promoting it. And the funny thing is these comedians a lot of them are very now woke comedians who should be the first people to stand up and refuse the money and refuse to be a part of this. We have a video of Bill Burr and Chris Rufo about this festival.
Top comics from the U.S. will perform at a festival in Saudi Arabia next month. I saw the poster. Wow. Some friends of mine. What does this suggest about how liberals view the country now? Yeah, I mean, some big names. I mean, Whitney Cummings is going over there. I think Bill Burr, Louis C.K. are performing in Saudi Arabia. Wow. I mean, who's going? Is my question.
It seems high risk. It seems like the thing that might end in a public beheading if you say the wrong thing. So
I don't think
I would keep the jokes right within the lines. Yeah.
I don't think this is about politics and how they see Saudi Arabia. I think this is about this.
Oh, it is?
Yeah. How much are they being paid?
Saudi Arabia knows how to bribe. They did it with sports. Now they're doing it with comedy?
Yeah.
Wow.
Political principles tend to go out the window when there's enough money on the table.
Maybe Colbert get a job over there.
You know what's so funny is like, well, a couple points on this. Obviously, they're getting paid a ton of money to go do that. I can't imagine what they're going to be talking about. But it's like a lot of these comedians are the same people that talk about the systematic racism, the misogyny in this country, like all these different things. And I'm like, but for a paycheck, you're willing to go to one of the most oppressive places where they're literally sending you a contract to oppress your speech, which is so funny. If you can't talk about something, there's a lot going wrong there. But I'm like, this is what I mean. This is why I hate these people. They're so quick to criticize normal people in America, conservatives, Republicans. They were probably all crying about free speech with Jimmy Kimmel. And then they're like, yes, but for a certain price, I will push all of these things aside and my morals, and I will go perform comedy. Also, this is like, if you're a liberal, you should go over there. You should go fly there to see their comedy. I assume you probably can't afford it, but you should. You should go see what it's like over there and see how. Who's this like audience for? Because I'm like, people from America are not going to there to watch them. There's so much money over there? They're just going to have a bunch of comedians, and you know what they're doing, right? Comedians are culture here. They're trying to influence comedians to talk about come back, and it's political. They're paying them to come back and like probably talk about how great and progressive it is, and then slowly, I'm sure, on their podcasts and shows, they'll start talking about the politics over there. I'm sure how they're allies, and actually the women aren't that oppressed, even though, I've been sitting on ChatGPT looking at all the rules they still have today over there, and it's so funny because I'm like, they're literally paying. I hope all the people that are so quick to point fingers at us for quote unquote taking foreign money for places like Israel. Everything I say about Israel, I say for free. I would happily accept money at this point, because if you're going to accuse me of getting paid, there's nothing worse than not getting paid while being accused. But I'm like, are you guys going to have the same energy when all these people come back and have their little talking points? And also, they're probably going to be contracted after this to never be able to talk about all the stuff that probably goes on there. But no, I'm sure that's different, because all the same people who talk crap on Israel, according to paying influencers, whatever they do, I wasn't one of them. I wish I was. They never mentioned the other side. They never mentioned Qatar. They never mentioned the scandal that happened with Tenet Media and Russia and all that. It's interesting how you're only pointing fingers at one person from one side. We'll see. Sellouts, though. Honestly, they're sellouts. They don't actually believe in anything they say, and they just care about money. And Shane Gillis on why he won't perform in the Middle East.
It was it's tight. They just went to the desert and just fucking
They were
vibed
asking
out.
me to go to the Middle East soon.
What? What? Where? Why?
Saudi Arabia and UAE or Dubai.
Dubai?
I think I'm gonna pass.
Yeah. For the troops? Is it for the troops?
Not for the troops.
What?
It's for the Saudis.
For the Saudi princes?
Yeah, and everyone's like, yeah, you should do it. Everyone's doing it. It's like, for Saudis?
Yeah.
Weren't those the 9/11 guys?
So I thought.
Aren't they exactly the 9/11 guys?
Yeah, and how funny if he made that joke there, they'd probably kill him, which is the ironic part. That's why I'm like, you guys are being like, I don't even understand how you prepare for a comedy special where you probably have to write the whole thing and run it past them, which is so insane. But good for him. He's correct. And by the way, he's also funny, which is refreshing. I can't believe, how are Louis C.K. like him there? Like, that's kind of insane. And also imagine doing comedy there and you look out and it's literally just women in hijabs, if they're even allowed to attend, and it's just a bunch of eyes. I'm like, is that even like is that a fun place you really want to perform? We have an image of a Bill Burr quote from his podcast where he performed at the festival. My whole idea of Saudi Arabia is what I've seen on the news. I literally think I'm going to land and everyone's going to be screaming death to America, and they're going to have machetes and chop my head off. The propaganda already began. This statement literally sounds like it's written by Saudi Arabia. I thought they were going to, well, no, you don't really land at most airports and they're screaming death to America. That's not really how this works in general. Also, like, have you even, like, seen photos of Dubai? Like, no, there's very little crime there, because they will cut your hand off in the middle of the street. So they're not running around with machetes, especially because they want our influence and we work with them, okay? But he said that all of his opinions have now miraculously changed because they're actually amazing people and it's a totally normal democracy because they have the Cheesecake Factory. So everything else actually goes completely out of the window and he's totally sold. I mean, he was like, there was a Timberland store. He felt like he was in Brooklyn, New York. Well, yeah, Brooklyn, New York makes sense because that's also filled with Muslims now. So yeah, I could understand how you could make that comparison. But apparently all the oppression, for someone who's such an activist for Black women and all these people, all of a sudden, all of that's out the window because they have a Dunkin' Donuts. So the oppression of women, the fact that they're not allowed to travel or go outside without a guardian, they're not allowed to just get divorced. They're not allowed to drive. So all these things about how they just oppress women and beat the shit out of them. And all these things are totally okay because there's a Pizza Hut. So if we put a Pizza Hut in the middle of Afghanistan when they're throwing gays off of roofs and they're stoning women to death because they didn't want to be with their disgusting husbands anymore, that means it's all okay. Everything's a lie. Bill Burr sounds like a retard. He literally sounds like, what's the movie where they go to like what's his face, and they go and they're like, oh dude, there's a fat kid in front of the grocery store, hey fat kid, and they're, oh see, everything's okay. Kim Jong-un, that movie, The Dictator. Yeah, that's Bill Burr's literally so stupid. They're using these people as propaganda to be like, oh, everything's actually a lie. Okay, Bill, since everything's a lie because they have Cheesecake Factory, then why don't you go criticize their God, their government, and why don't you go take one of these lovely women out and take her job off and go take her to a nice restaurant, ask her what life is like there. I mean, literally useful idiots is what these people are. They probably wrote this statement and had like a machete to his head if he didn't say it all properly. We have a quote from Dave Chappelle about how it's easier to have free speech in Saudi Arabia than in America after signing a contract that says you don't have free speech here. Right now in America, they say that if you talk about Charlie Kirk, you'll get canceled. You don't get canceled. You lose your job because we have integrity in this country and you shouldn't be hiring people who celebrate death because that's psycho and that means they're clinically insane. That's different. It's also to protect people around you, as I would know because I'm someone who actually got people fired from their jobs because I contacted HR because once in a while I'm a parent too. Okay? I don't know if that's true, but I'm going to find out. It's easier to talk here than it is in America. All right, Dave, what a sellout. That's so disappointing. As someone who's constantly said he's like against woke, against all the systems, everyone's him over. I mean, $300,000 is enough to just put all that behind you and sell out? Jesus. I mean, that's really upsetting. And it's so funny because I'm like, how are you guys saying this after signing a contract that says you are not allowed to negatively speak about anything over there? Because the list of shit they gave you is everything. Their God, their prophet, Muhammad, the government, the religion, everything. The royal families. I'm like, you guys are such sellouts. This is why eventually the older you get, you're just so burnt out. You're so jaded because you just see this shit and then you're like, oh, just another one. Don't you have enough money? When's like enough money that you can actually do the right thing? I mean, Shane Gillis seems like, I'm sure he does very well for himself, but I'm just like, dude, come on, you're bigger than him. You probably have more money than him, and this was worth it. Oh, free speech in America. It's better in Saudi Arabia. Yeah, ask the women in hijabs there if they would rather be there or would they feel safer in America. I don't know. These people are such sellouts. Where was my invite to this comedy show? LA corruption. The California insurance commissioner is caught taking luxury trips around the world on taxpayer money. LA is spending millions just to avoid transparency and hide where the money goes. And they don't even get me started on the homeless industrial complex, nonprofits, and advocates getting rich while the problem here only gets worse. We have an image showing California insurance commissioner fraud. So he was taking taxpayer-funded trips, including a safari visit, a limo service, and 5-star resorts. By the way, safaris are insanely expensive. The ones I've looked at cost literally like in the millions to do a nice one. There's not really like cheap safaris, so I just like to throw that out there. There's not a lot of affordable ones. They're very expensive. And we have an image detailing the fraud. So, God, how does this shit happen? So he was upgrading his flights to business, first class, expensing the 5-star resort stays, chauffeurs, limo services, even a safari. And then this is all the stuff he was doing. Wow, let's just go through. 48-hour trips across the globe. Slay. Just one 5-star New York hotel stay costs more than $11,600. VIP rooftop events, private security, costing taxpayers $9,000. So while this guy is using our taxpayer dollars that we work hard for to spend almost 10 G's on security, you're statistically going to get stabbed by a homeless guy walking home from your shift making $12 an hour. So I hope you sleep well at night knowing that. 5-day trips to Colombia for an LGBTI political leaders conference. That's literally fake. That's not. Oh, in Colombia? Interesting you guys chose Colombia to do that. It's just like a bunch of gay politicians doing cocaine on our taxpayer dollars. More than $24,000 for that, so that's good. Security detail, $33,000. You know what's so funny? It's always the people in California, especially Democrats, that are want to defund the police and then gaslight all of us that have to deal with this shit every day, like it's safe here. And they always have very expensive security detail, which I think is very funny. Like, you notice when Gavin Newsom, Karen Bass, any of them do events, they're surrounded by securities. And then when they have events, the streets are literally shut down. Yeah, it's almost like they only care about protecting themselves and not us. And yeah, I mean the list goes on. So I'm just kind of confused. Do these people have credit cards? And is someone not watching the spending? And when they're like, hey, why are you like on a $50,000 safari? Like no one was clocking that. Someone's like, hey, dude, you're in Africa? I just saw there was a charge for a safari in Africa for $175,000. Like, oh, wait, dude, like, what are you doing there? That's crazy. You're in Colombia and you went first class? No, where's the auditing on all of this? But I'm sure that, you go to audit this and they're like, well, actually, you're fired now. So that's where all of your hard-earned money is going. And we have the city of LA spent millions to avoid transparency and accountability, as reported by the LA Controller.
How the city of Los Angeles spent millions of dollars to avoid transparency and accountability by yours truly, Kenneth Mejia, your city controller. If you didn't know, the city of Los Angeles was sued over its homelessness efforts. And part of that case, the city had to undergo an audit. And instead of going with the independently elected city controller, who is the city's auditor, who actually would have done this for free, the city ended up spending nearly $3 million on an outside firm, who is not an audit firm, to actually conduct this audit over homelessness spending and also homelessness efforts as well. And so when the results came back, the city actually disparaged the results. They didn't call it a real audit. It was an assessment. And so here we are today. And the judge, instead of appointing a receivership over all of the city's homelessness efforts, decided that the city needs a monitor over its homelessness spending and efforts in real time. And so, wow, here's another opportunity for oversight. And the plaintiffs suing the city actually recommended our office, the current city controller's office, to be a monitor. But the city of LA rejected that. They said, nope, not you again.
I mean, this is so insane. This is our money laundering in real time. This guy's like, so I get like paid and I work here. Do you want me to do this? And we're like, no. While we're broke and in debt, we're actually going to ship this off to someone that's not going to blatantly expose all the lies, corruption, and money funneling that's happening. We're going to actually go more broke into debt and pay them $3 million because they're going to give us something back that won't look like we need to all be in prison immediately. That guy is going to get fired or end up like in the ocean soon. Good for him for exposing all this, but also, if anyone needs security, it's probably him. We have a video of a LA resident exposing how nonprofits get rich off the homeless, which we all know.
There was a hearing asking the state where the funds went to. and the state auditor couldn't find any documents showing where the money went to. So at that time, it was $24 billion. They couldn't account for even $1 where the money went to. And the city of LA is the same. $1 billion spent, nobody knows where the money went to. Massive corruption. You have nonprofits. They own buildings worth hundreds of millions of dollars. They have special deals, special privilege with the city of LA. They get funded by having these vacant homes occupied by homeless people, but we don't even know if they are occupied by anyone, but they get funded by the billions. They are even given buildings. They build apartment buildings worth $20-50 million, and these apartment buildings are handed over to nonprofits as long as they operate them for the benefit of the homeless people. And of course, there's nobody that knows how many homeless are living in the buildings, how much service they actually provide, but these non-profits are profiting in a big, big way. And of course, taxpayers have no idea where the money is going to.
Here's the thing about this. Dude, Democrats are seriously just the most morally bankrupt, evil people on the planet. Everyone that runs this state, and especially Los Angeles, these are all the most far-left people that are just so morally evil. They will let people die and ruin this state because they all make money. Years ago, I was like, hey, can someone tell me why this random woman who's ghetto as hell, we've never heard of, makes $600,000 a year, and she's in charge of, like, it was some bullshit made-up job, like the homeless committee. All these people are getting six figures to millions of dollars to further this problem, to funnel money, because here's what everyone needs to understand. No problem, no money, okay? That's why they don't want things to get better. Have you ever heard a Democrat in California talk about how something's going to get better, or how they're going to make it better, or how we're going to stop spending, or how we're going to save money? No, because they're all getting rich off of it. We need the most, like, far-right Republican leadership. Also, if anyone watches this show, and you or anyone you know has any information, I want to start exposing all this money laundering, and I want to expose them by name. I want names. I mean, I'm always out for blood. This is the only thing I enjoy doing at this point in my life. You email us, comment, send it all my way. I mean, I really want to come at every single one of these people. I'm going to start going to the meetings, city council. I want to start asking them to their faces because they're full of shit. I mean, I'll show up to their homes. I'll wait for them to wake up in the morning, walk outside, and ask them questions. I mean, I'm done with this shit. Everyone should be so upset about this, and it's crazy that they're not. Here's my thing. I won't even be a hypocrite. If Republicans ran this city and they were funneling money and doing all of the same stuff these people do, but the city was perfect, I wouldn't even care. I would be upset, and I would call them out. But, like, I'd be fine with it. It's the fact that these people make this much money off of the city going to shit and are suffering. Do all this shady shit behind closed doors, fine. But when we're living in hell, it doesn't make sense anymore. I don't even understand how normal liberals, like, I want to interview people in Silver Lake, like, how are you okay with all of this? Because you have to live in the garbage. I'm okay. I can get a little bit away from it, but I'm like, you guys have to live in this shit. And these are the people that you vote for, and you vote for over and over and over. And then anytime a normal person goes in, they get pushed out because they won't even vote sane Democrats in because they threaten them out. So, I mean, this is what you guys vote for, apparently. Actually, I don't even think you vote for because I think all of our elections are rigged. So that's a whole nother thing. We have a video of Rick Caruso exposing price of removing the homeless people from the street.
How would you deal with homeless? You got these encampments. We're driving around here downtown LA.
Yeah.
It had such a renaissance for a short period of time. It feels like it's devolved again.
It has.
And it just seems to me that there just should be zero tolerance for camping on the street. Yet here we are again with encampments everywhere. What would be your approach?
Well, my approach was simple when I ran is you can't allow encampments on the street, but you've got to give people who are on the streets an opportunity to have a productive life. So give them the services they need, build the housing that they need, We are spending in the city of Los Angeles $900,000 per person that they're removing from the streets. $900,000
per year?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
There's billions and billions of dollars wasted. Redirect that to organizations that have incredible track records of being successful in Los Angeles, of housing people, giving them the services for mental health and drug addiction. And the first thing you do is you do not allow the sale of drugs on the street. Right now we do. I mean, that's a crime. It's illegal. Don't allow it.
I mean, no one will convince me he didn't win over Karen Bass. I pray to God he runs again. He is our only savior. But you know why they didn't let him win? One, he's exposing the corruption. $1 million a homeless person? Are you guys for real? Name how that math makes any sense. Doesn't. Pure corruption, okay? He's so much better than me because I'd put him on a island. I wouldn't give a shit. Two, he's actually proposing real solutions for our very serious, expensive, dangerous problem. He said, why don't you can deal with, companies, organizations that have great track records. Dude, this is what I don't understand. $1 million per homeless person. We have God knows how many. I mean, I walk 5 minutes and I see 17 of them and they're sleeping. And by the way, they're usually doing drugs, which they then leave behind. They're pissing, they're shitting. They usually have their iPads and iPhones plugged into some electricity nearby. That's insane, a whole nother story. But it's just like, he's proposing real solutions. Like, he's actually like an old school normal Democrat. But then the funny thing is, Karen Bass had no solutions besides more money. And people, once again, I don't believe that anyone actually voted for her, but it's like I don't understand. Do liberals and Democrats see him talking, but then they're against it? I mean, with how much money we spend on them, we could literally build them like 1 million houses in like Bakersfield or somewhere that there's land and we can build things there. Okay. They don't need to be on the street. By the way, it's not a right to be on the street. It's not a right to shoot up and do drugs. It's not a right to endanger people and to scream at them. And it's like, there was a woman that said she had like, oh, the homeless guy at the end of my block. Well, dude, what homeless person are you encountering? Every time I see them, they're insane. They're calling me a bitch, a cunt, threatening to kill me. I'm like, they're nuts. They're tweaking out. They're screaming. They're scaring kids. Women are terrified. I'm like, they're violent and they're dangerous. Sorry, you don't get to be on the street. You don't get to just do drugs the same way when I run a red light, I get a $600 ticket, okay? You don't get to have these rights. And also, they're not productive people. They choose to be homeless, and they come here because they benefit off of all these Democrat policies, okay? There's a video I posted on my Instagram story today. She's like, oh, I love it. We just get to hang out, smoke crack, go eat some food, and just do it all over again. And everyone's like, great. Is there a reason for you to ever get better and leave? She's like, nope. This is great. This is just our version of crackhead Hawaii. And I'm like, okay, so now you kind of see why the problem is the way it is, okay? We have a video of Steve Hilton, another person running for governor of California, and he's talking about Gavin Newsom when it comes to healthcare for illegal immigrants.
There's been a lot of disinformation from the Democrats, what we used to call lying, about free healthcare for illegal immigrants in California. So here are the facts. Gavin Newsom said that this would cost $3.1 billion. The actual cost, $9.5 billion. So what did he do? He got $4.8 billion from Medicaid federal funds for emergency services, and then he got another $3.9 billion from this scam called the provider tax. But you know what is worse? Next year, the bill is going to get even higher. This is what Gavin Newsom's illegal healthcare scheme is going to cost Californians next year. $12 billion. That means you'll pay $900 a year for free healthcare for illegal immigrants. Not when I'm governor. We're going to get rid of all of it because it is outrageous and it's not going to happen.
Holy shit, a Democrat lied. It's so funny when this is another thing I'd like to go, beautiful double-sided whiteboard. Love that. Very easy to understand. I would love to go on the street and show the liberals this, the people who bitch about healthcare and how much it costs and how horrible it is. Geez, do you ever think that maybe if we didn't have illegals draining the system, it wouldn't cost that much money? Once again, if it isn't the consequences of your own actions, Anyone who thinks illegals should get healthcare are literally insane. Literally insane. Like, I don't even understand. You know why our car insurance is so high in this country? Because we have to pay for the idiots who don't get car insurance, and also the illegals that don't have it, okay, that are constantly running into all of our cars. Okay? That's how this works. He's great. He's a great option. My first one would be Rick, for many reasons. He is a fantastic option. I love that he's, a Brit that loves America. So, I mean, oh, he's British. Yeah, well, a lot of Americans hate America. So I think he's actually a great representation of America as a whole, as me and Priya had discussed in the previous episode. We have more Gavin Newsom. We have a video of a guy explaining how Newsom is passing laws that could get your child taken away from you. Lovely. More rights stripped from parents. Great.
California, tap in. Y'all got a law saying anybody can check your child out? Did Gavin Newsom make a law that anybody can check your child out? You know, I'm starting to think that child trafficking is the highest paid thing in California. It seems like y'all do any and everything in your possibility to make the parent not the parent of that child. The parents don't have rights to who come pick their child up. Are you serious? There's nowhere in the world you telling me my son go to school and when I go pick him up, he ain't there. Nobody can tell me who took him. The man can just sign out anything. That's insane. Y'all are losing y'all mind. How did Gavin Newsom get y'all to pass that bill? It must be way more weird people out there than it is straight.
I love it. I'm so glad normal people are finally waking up. And how did he get anyone to pass this bill? Because I can't imagine a parent would ever agree to this. But also what they do is they're smart about what they do. They know that they're able to manipulate the language of a lot of these things. And this is why voting is so important. And actually knowing what you're voting for. Because I'm telling you, the way Democrats do this stuff, the language is so backwards. It's so manipulated. They do this for a living. They're very good at what they do. What do you mean anyone can sign out your child? Also, he's right. The most money in the world is child trafficking. Yes, that's the most money. That's the highest price. And they want the government to take your kids away. They want the government to raise your children. And they don't want you to have any rights. That's why they like putting them in the public schools. They like getting them away from you as much as possible. You don't really know what's going on. I think the teachers are all in on it. The teachers now are insane to me. They're literally political activists, liberal, psychopaths. I remember my mom would check me out sometimes because we would go at lunchtime get pizza at Pietro's, RIP, together. And I mean, they were gnarly with her. I mean, they were very strict. My mom, who they saw every single day for 12 years, you have to legally sign out. At certain points, she would have to add my dad. So my dad on paper could legally sign me out. No one else was allowed to sign me out. Not my sister, my brothers, if they had to go through so much. And I'm like, it's crazy how they're just in our faces about not protecting children whatsoever and trying to get them away from parents and get all of the rights stripped away from them. Because no way, if you put that on paper, a normal parent would be okay with that. So you're just saying anyone could just show up, sign your kid out, and then take them, and then you never see them again? Yeah, pretty much. That's kind of what's happening, unfortunately. We have a video showing that Newsom announced he is suing the Trump administration over the deployment of the National Guard to protect Portland, Oregon.
The Trump administration's plan to send troops to Portland has hit a roadblock. Christina Coleman is live with new details on this legal fight. Hi, Christina.
Hey, Mike. Yes, California Governor Gavin Newsom said he will take the Trump administration to court over the deployment of 300 California National Guard to Oregon. So that is the latest in that legal fight.
That's my girl. Love her. He will do anything. But his job. Every week he's trying to sue Trump. He's going to Trump-proof the state. Like I've said many times, if the National Guard has to be deployed, whoever's running that city should immediately be removed. You have literally failed. The fact that they have to step in is insane. At the same time, should Portland pretty much burn to the ground? Yeah, that would be a net positive for all of us. We have an image Newsom posted, because once again, I'm telling you, he'll do anything but work. He tweets, he memes, he does everything. This is the image Newsom posted of Trump He's dressed as the queen. It's labeled new profile pic in honor of our queen, which is so funny. And I'm like, so you're telling me that a man dressed in women's clothing is so funny and ridiculous to you guys. You are actually using it to insult him, and it's funny? What's this, the party that's pushed men dressing as women to be taken seriously and brave and stunning? As soon as you put Trump in women's clothing, which he even looked like a baddie in this photo. It's actually, the photo's kind of good. He's probably going to take it and like frame it and put his office next week. But I'm like, wait, so you agree men dressed as women is extremely silly and beyond ridiculous, correct? We should be dying laughing every time we see this. Like, you guys are so funny. Dude, the left can't meme. Every time they do something, I'm like, do you guys realize how stupid you look? You're posting this like it's funny, but this is like the shit you guys say every single day. Like, if we posted him in women's clothing, you guys would be like, oh my God, it's so insensitive to all the mentally ill men out there that also like to wear women's clothing and pearls. Okay, so you got, hey, finally, first thing we've agreed on in like 50 plus years. We both agree that men in women's clothing is funny and shouldn't be taken seriously. So checkmate on that one, guys. We have a video of Nicole Wallace on Gavin Newsom's social media team posting the memes, mocking Trump and posting the sombrero memes.
This untapped power that Gavin Newsom, I think, is tapping into. I mean, they're just freaking out. They have entire panels dedicated to deciding whether it's, beneath the stature of an elected official to tweet the things Gavin Newsom's tweeting. The whole notion that the right is an absolute puddle of snowflakes has been exposed by Gavin Newsom. Childish, it is crass, it is vulgar, it's of course unpresidential, it's dumb. Leader Jeffries is pictured wearing a sombrero and a fake mustache, while Schumer goes about making a fake speech he never actually said or delivered. Mike Johnson doesn't know if a picture of Leader Hakeem Jeffries donning a sombrero and a mustache is or is not racist.
So once again, this is my favorite part about Democrats, is every time they go back on everything, like the illegals for healthcare, when they all raise their hands, you're on video, idiots. Every single thing they say, we have a video of them contradicting it. So wait, I'm confused. Are we all snowflakes? But then we're all snowflakes, but when you guys do it, it's, remember, in the parentheses, different. They're always, everything. They contradict themselves on everything. This is like every week there's a new video. They're like, actually, it's different when we do it, but when you guys do it, you need to be better than that and above it. At least our memes are funny. Our memes are fantastic. You guys could only make one and it was Trump in a dress. Like, fire your social media person. We have 11 fentanyl dealers were arrested in San Francisco last week, and the good news is they're all released. I haven't been to San Francisco in a very long time. I never planned on going back there, but that's great. I mean, fentanyl kills people. We all know that. I don't know if they were citizens doing it. I'm sure they were. I mean, then again, if they were illegals, it wouldn't be in the article anyways, because they wouldn't want to release that. But I'm like, okay, so fentanyl kills people, so you got a bunch of people selling it. Isn't that supposed to be some sort of crime? And people probably died, but they're right back on the street. So that's good. They're pretty much, on par with everything else we see these days. Great. Coming to a city near you. As someone who currently lives in Los Angeles and every day is navigating how to survive it, I'm sure a lot of you guys, look, not all of us can just get up and leave. Why are you still there? Dude, I have a family here. I have a relationship here. I have friends here. In general, I have a very good life here. On the way to the studio, a UPS driver went down a one-way street the wrong way and almost went directly into me and killed me. But the good news about him is he didn't bother to say sorry or anything. But luckily, my Tesla has it on camera. But look, I have to survive here. Maybe you guys have to survive here too. Maybe you don't have the ability to just be a coward and flee when things get hard, or flee for any other reasons. No. So I thought what we could do here is we could do little segments where we talk about how I survive here and how maybe this could help you guys and you guys could survive here. So and if you guys want, you can comment on the channel. You can have some questions. I can read those questions, give my best answers. And it can be anything. It could be what's the best pizza? What do you wear a bulletproof vest when you leave the house? Anything you guys could think of. Like, how do you handle the crackheads on meth that attack you? I'm here. I'm here for you guys. You let me know anything, and you know me. I will always give an honest answer. Unfortunately, that's my default setting. So we have some questions here. First one is, what neighborhood in LA can you move to if you don't want to get stabbed? And I would say the Palisades, which the Democrats burned down. So not the Palisades anymore, but this video confirms that the city will be building brand new high-density public bus transportation and metro stations right in the Pacific Palisades, which we were told is all a conspiracy. And Gavin Newsom and Karen Bass said, we're not doing that. It's right-wing rhetoric.
Oh, yeah, true story. So you go from having Wolfgang Puck and Frank Gehry building a beautiful restaurant at Sunset and PCH to putting in a blue bus line so that you can get high density into the Palisades. That's right. The hearing's on Wednesday if anyone is interested, and there's the number. 415-407-3211. Start calling, assholes.
Why would we want a restaurant when we could just have a place for homeless people to shoot up and hang out and harass people that work there? You know what's so silly, too? It's just like even common sense, you guys. You live in places like the Palisades because you don't want to live in downtown LA. Does it make sense to have public transportation in downtown LA? I lived there for 8 years, so I know what I'm talking about. Yeah, it does. You have people from coming all over. There's a lot of rich people that live there, but there's also a lot of, low income. And people move to it, like New York City, because it is supposed to be a city and public transportation should work and you should have it. No one's moving to the Palisades because they're like, wow, they have amazing public transportation there. That's literally insane. If you live there, you're wealthy. Even if you're going there to work, you have a car or you take an Uber, okay? Public transportation, I don't even think, hot opinion, shouldn't even be there, period. And this is also another thing they said that this was a conspiracy. They're not doing affordable housing. They're not putting bus stations. I mean, they added one in downtown, and I'm sorry. Like, it's just another place for homeless people to go hang out, kids to skateboard. And yeah, I think a nice restaurant probably would have been a better thing, especially considering that's part of let's rebuild the place that we burned to the ground. Is there anywhere left in LA where you can fill your gas tank without also filling out a police report? No, actually, people always hate on me for having a Tesla, and I'm not going to lie, there's some drawbacks to it. The number one benefit of having a Tesla, because someone hit my car and I recently rented a Mercedes, not trying to brag. I had to go to the gas station. I was like, first of all, ew. I felt like I had AIDS literally just touching the handle. I'm watching my back like this. And I was like, charging at home. Yeah, I'm never giving that up again. Sorry. Gas stations are literally disgusting, filled with crackheads. And also some guy just got robbed of his Rolex at a gas station in a nice area recently, I saw as well. So now they're actually following you into gas stations, stalking you, and robbing you. And I'm like, you can hate on Teslas, but please. That is a significant advantage. And I was like, I can't go back. Parking. Parking's a huge issue. Is there anywhere to park without getting killed when you walk back to your car without having to pay $40 an hour? No, and more bad news on that. We have a video, apparently LA, California potentially is talking about the price of parking going up and potentially also having to pay on Sundays, God's Day, as well.
Price of parking in LA is about to go up. The city council approved a rate increase on Friday, pushing the price up 50 cents across the city. Now, the last time the rates went up was back in 2014. The council also directed transportation officials to extend the hours of on-street parking meters to midnight in busy areas and include Sundays as well.
Any way they can. They screw us any way they can. Dude, some meters go from midnight to 2 a.m. in Los Angeles. When I used to go out and party and go to clubs, I'd be like, I have to come back out and pay my meter till 2 a.m. This is insane. Sundays, say the prices go up and they make more money. What does the money go to? We need more money for homeless, illegals, Democrats to line their pockets. I mean, it's insane. Then also you have to deal with all the the street restrictions. Oh, so then not only that, if you want to park in front of your home, you have to go to the city because that's really fun. Everyone there's really normal and easy to get along with. And you have to pay for a, placard to display in front of your own home some of the highest taxes in the country. You have to pay to park in front of your own home every year, okay? On top of all of this, where's the money going? We need audits. What the f*** am I going to jail if I miss some money on my taxes? But all this is perfectly acceptable. It's literally insane. Emily, if you see someone naked on the street at 10 a.m., is that performance art or a crime? According to Democrats, they could be naked in front of children, showing them their genitals, and that is still performance art. And unless they physically assault the child, it's not a crime. And that's just them, you guys. We saw it on the video last week. That's why you got to watch and pay attention every week. We had the guy in Portland, and he was like, why is this homeless guy showing his balls to my 4-year-old? And the cop's like, well, until he, tries to bang the 4-year-old, there's nothing we can do about it. So yeah, it's performance art at this point. Is it the worst art you've ever seen? And it'll give you nightmares? Yeah. A lot of unsolicited penises in Los Angeles if you're going to move here. Get ready for that. What's the point of a $15 green juice if you have to drink it while stepping over human shit? Well, the green juice tastes so bad that somehow it distracts you from the human feces you have to step over and the smell of piss, because all you can smell is all the green stuff mixed together. You leave Air One, step over some feces, you track it on the app like they have in San Francisco, then you just keep going. What's the LA dating scene like if you're not into narcissists, DJs, or people who identify as entrepreneurs, aka trust fund kids? I used to say everyone's a creative director. I don't know if they're creative, I don't know what they're directing, and I don't know what the they do for work or how they make money, because every person I met growing up was somehow a creative director of something. I don't know what the dating scene's like. It seems like hell, according to every female that I'm friends with. I don't know how people are supposed to meet each other. Nightlife is dead. The restaurant scene is dying. I can't imagine people go to bars. I think people are turning away from drugs and alcohol. Unless you're in downtown Skid Row, they are going to keep that going forever. Don't worry about it. I don't really know. How do you meet people? I think the grocery store. This is what I've came up with. I think you meet people at the grocery stores now because you're at least you can see what they're buying, what they're shopping for. It's kind of okay. But then also women have killed men coming up to women to say anything nice in general. Actually, it was interesting. Me and my girlfriend were walking recently, and this man ran up to me, and I was like, oh, great. And then he was like, he comes up, and he has shorts on, a tight little t-shirt, and had an ear piercing. And he was like, oh my God, I just had to stop you because you were so beautiful. I wanted to ask you out. And I was like, one, you're the gayest man I've ever seen in my life. So that's kind of a bummer for me. This is not boosting my confidence. But I was super nice to him. And I told my friend, because my friend, she was a little bit more you know what I mean? And I was like, no. That's very nice. That's nice that he came up to me. He was polite. He wasn't creepy or weird. I said, sorry, I'm good. Have a good day. That's how you should react. He wasn't doing anything creepy or weird. He wasn't being harmful. But, a normal girl in LA is probably just like, oh, hey, yeah, get away from me. And you wonder why no one comes up to you. I don't know how you meet people. I would say at work. I don't know who has real jobs anymore. No one I know, apparently. And I would say maybe at the grocery store, walking. I don't know. I literally don't know anymore. If I had to enter that life again, I don't think I would last very long. Is there a single person who actually uses public transportation here? The bus stops look like war zones. I've never used transportation here. Never. The last time I used public transportation was in Orange County, coming back from high school. I would rather walk, Uber, Lyft, Lime, bicycle, I don't know, horse. I would rather use any other form of transportation. It's really sad, but the thing is, we've talked about this before. I say it's very simple. We deserve public transportation here. Lord knows we have the money for it. That's not an issue. They spend so much money on BS here. We could actually afford for every person to just be driven around in an Uber Lux or SUV all the time. That's actually the crazy part. But you can't have public transportation with Democrat policies. You can have one or the other. There's a reason why, other countries, the public transportation is great because it's not filled with mentally ill people. But I did see a girl on TikTok. She went to do it and got assaulted within 5 minutes. And I was like, yeah, that's what you're dealing with. If you're going to have public transportation, it has to be clean. There has to be rules, and you have to arrest people, and they also have to stay arrested. Okay? They have to stay in jail. but we can't do the second one, so we don't get to have the first one. Sorry, can't have both. Gotta pick, choose. Oh my God, this has been... I'm such a dog person. I'm such a dog lover. We have 2 dogs. At what point did dogs become higher status citizens than actual humans? Okay, I'm at my limit, you guys. I'm at my limit with the dogs. The dogs in public, and especially, I'm sorry, the doodles everywhere. These like big dopey dogs that are all the time. Every time you see them, they're literally, I mean, I'm pretty sure the guy that created it was like, this dog's retarded when he created it. They're like barely trainable. Everywhere I go now, Trader Joe's, Whole Foods, Erewhon, grocery stores, where it says like, this is not for your dog. Why did you decide to leave the house? And you're like, I'm going to bring my dog with me. You're weird. Your dog can stay at home. That's literally where they belong. You can go take it for a walk like a normal person, walk around with the dog. The dogs at grocery stores is insane. It's first of all like a health thing. It's just weird. Then I go to the farmer's market. Everyone's walking their dogs. Okay, the problem is when these idiots walk their dogs, they're not on a tight leash. Half the time they're barking and attacking people. I'm like, oh, this is a good thing to take in public. That's not trained whatsoever. You're having to like move around them, and it's not fair to get mad at the dog. The dogs don't do shit wrong. It's the people where I want to be like, hey, can you move your dog out of my way? Like, me and my dad were going to dinner at Zinc, and these two, they ended up being French assholes. They were horrible to the waiter. These 2 French were sitting there eating, and their big-ass, like, dog was, like, laying there. And I kind of did the thing where I looked at him, I was like, hey, can you move your dog? That's very large, so I can step over it and get to my table. They just looked at us, kept talking, and I was like, I just was like, move your dog. You're at a restaurant. Why is your dog here? Keep it at home. They're everywhere. They're in the coffee shops. And it's like, I get it. Like, I have a little 4-pound dog. It makes sense to take her places. She can be in my purse. It doesn't matter. But when, like, I can't move around because there's leashes everywhere and dogs in front of me, it's like, it's too much. It's too much. And I'm the most pro-dog person. In the restaurants, I'm like, there's no reason to have your dog at a restaurant. I really don't understand. And then they're like, oh, can I get some water for him? And do you guys have like biscuits? And I'm just like, oh my God. Like, I'm trying to order a coffee the other day. The woman's like standing there and she's like, do you have a biscuit for him? And I'm just like, oh my. I'm like, I just can't do it. I can't be around it. And I'm at the point where I'm like, I'm going to move your dog. I'm going to start gently because I'm a good person. Sort of sometimes. I'm going to move your dog out of the way. But at a certain point, I'm just going to look at you and be like, just give me the leash. I'll do your job. I mean, this is ridiculous. It's too much. I don't want dogs everywhere. I like my dog. I don't like your dog. Your dog that's less cute and untrained. So get it away from it. They don't need to be at restaurants. They don't need to be at the grocery store. Oh, is he helping you with your grocery list? Is he reading the ingredient labels for you? Is he there doing a job? Are you so useless of a human? Oh, well, I have him certified. He doesn't, it's not a working dog. It's a doodle who is licking his asshole. Okay. He doesn't need to be here. It's gross. They don't need water bowls all over spilling. It's too much. I'm not trying to I don't want Sharia law in America, but it's too much with the dogs now. I'm flying with them. I mean, even though I'd rather sit next to the dog than a person at this point, because at least the dog won't talk to me. It's just gone too much. Okay. I'm sorry. I have to be this person. If the leash is in front of me and you're you're blocking me, I'm like, hey, move your dog. Okay. Take it home. Go play in it with the yard. Go take it on a walk, okay? It's overstimulated. It doesn't even want to be here. It probably doesn't even fucking like you anyways. Probably wants to be home without you because you're also an idiot. I'm sorry. That's just what I think about the dogs. I think it's gone too far. Get your big doodles. Don't even get me started on pit bulls. I'll do an hour segment on the statistics on those if you really want to get into it. Oh yeah, when I see your pit bull, I'm picking up my Pomeranian, and they're like, oh, and the person's always like, oh. Like, literally, we got into it at Runyon. The person called my friend an asshole because she picked up her wiener dog, which she was actually picking up her dog because her wiener dog is an asshole and had nothing to do with the pit bull. And the owner talked shit to us and said something. And I was like, you know what? You're right. Your dog that statistically 90% attacks dogs and people for no reason and kills them. I should just trust you and trust him. And I should just let my dog get attacked so it doesn't offend you. These are the people I have to deal with, you guys. This is why we need the survival guide together. Because I'm like, I have to go through these things and you have to go through them. So we have to figure it out together. And I'm sorry if you have a doodle. I just think they're like the dumbest, most annoying breed. No, pit bulls are the worst. But the doodles are just the annoying ones because for some reason, every white person has a doodle and they just can't control them, and they're big and floppy, and they're just all over the place, and it's nuts. I don't like the things that breathe all up either, whatever those are called. The pugs, or what's the one that all the black people were stealing in downtown because they're worth tons of money, that are like whatever those are. Don't like those either. I don't know why you guys have those. They're like born genetically mutilated, and you have to get them surgeries to open their airways. But anyways, if you guys have any questions, feel free to submit them. I'd love to answer them so I can help you. Frenchies. God, those dogs are stupid. Those dogs are stupid. They're not cute. They can't breathe. They're little bodies. They look like, do you guys remember in Ghostbusters, the like dog gargoyle things that like, that are like demonic that go after you? That's what those look like. I'm just confused. Out of all the dog breeds, I'm biased, Pomeranian, Golden Retrievers, out of anything you could buy or go rescue, you were like, yeah, I want the most expensive up one. Like what? I don't understand what point to get it. What's the one everyone loves? The Golden Retrievers? Great dogs. Great dogs. They don't maul babies to death. Those are fantastic. I think all pit bulls legally should like not be able to breed. I've literally been attacked 4 times. 4 times. My dad's been attacked. I've been attacked. My dog's been attacked. All by a pit bull. And then the second you like get attitude with one of the owners, they like get all aggressive. I'm like, oh, maybe that's why your shitty dog is aggressive, just like you. Statistics don't lie, you guys. Unless there's just statistics from the left, then I actually do think they lie. They're not true. But anyways, guys, feel free to like, subscribe, share, comment your questions. Say, Emily, how do I survive California? How do I survive Los Angeles? I'm a closet conservative. I live in Echo Park. Well, they'll probably kill you there, so you should probably move out of the city. I don't really know what to tell you. And I'm here. I'm here to give you guys information. So thanks for tuning in.